Thanks for joining us here on Carolina in the Morning. Every day, about 10 people die from unintentional drowning, 2 of them children.
Yeah, let that sink in for just a second, because that's a lot of people. With this week being National Boating Week, one group is reminding people that life jackets save lives. Carolina in the Morning's Molly Oak is live at the Inlet Watch Yacht Club with details this morning. Hi, Molly.
Good morning. Yeah, when you're on a boat, you want to make sure that if something happens, you can at least have some way to contact someone. I think that's always the scariest part for me. Ed Lobalbo joins me now, but if your cell phone's out there and you don't have service, so what do we do? I mean, cell phone won't always work, right?
Well, surprisingly, they do work, and they work well down here, although there are some advantages of using another form of communication on the water.
Okay.
Imagine 5 guys out on a boat, center console fishing. There's usually 5 cell phones with them,
Yeah.
1 radio. So, but the drawbacks of a cell phone are obvious when you look at the advantages of the VHF radio.
So what exactly is that VHF radio?
Well, it's very high frequency. It's an FM versus AM type radio. It has dedicated channels that are very important. Channel 16 is the hail and distress, and every boater who has a VHF radio, this is a handheld, 6 watts, if they have a radio on board, they have to monitor channel 16. Other channels are 68 and 72, that's for recreational people. You're at Masonboro Channel and you're talking to other people, that's the channel you would do.
So what's the main difference between, the cell phone and the radio? What's the benefit to having?
There's the million-dollar question, and it's quantity versus quality.
Okay.
We know that there's always a lot more cell phones out there, so it sounds like that's the way to go, but there's a difference. And that is this: if I'm calling you and speaking to you on a cell phone, there's only 2 people listening to this conversation.
Right.
If I use this radio, I broadcast out to all boaters and to the Coast Guard who monitor Channel 16, so that if we had a problem and just 1 or 2 people hearing about it, everyone out in the area would hear, and they can come to us.
So probably best to have both on a boat then.
Absolutely. The cell phone is your backup. That's your way to make telephone conversations out on the water. But for emergency distress, this is the way to go. Let me show you another feature.
Okay.
It's called Digital Selective DSC calling. It means this, that within this this radio, I have the GPS. So if I had a distress or a problem and I was nervous, all I have to do is press this up and press that red button. We can't do it because it will automatically broadcast a mayday, a distress call. The beauty of that is that you don't have to worry about it in this stressful time.
That's okay. So that's something that's really important that you do want to know. If you have that VHF radio, if you don't, I want to go grab one before you head out on the boat this summer, Bill and Kim.
Yeah, you don't want to be stuck somewhere several miles off the shore and not being able to get a hold of anybody.
There is a lot of stuff in that course. I took that course actually in the summer. A lot of stuff in that course that makes you go, oh, that makes sense.
Right.
But you didn't think about it top of mind. And even if you are an experienced boater in some way, it makes a difference on your insurance to be able to take the class.
Sure.
Right? It also just gives you an extra boost that you may have forgotten about to do the right thing when you're out in the water. That was definitely 8 hours of your time worth taking.
And Molly mentioned this earlier, but remember, these groups are volunteers, these Power Squadron groups, and they will be at boat ramps giving free checks of your boat, and they will go over everything. And a lot of times there's expiration dates on things like flares and extinguishers, and you don't think about that, and they will point that out for you. So it's really nice thing that they do, and you should let them on board your boat.
And they'll be here all morning long with some tips. We appreciate it.